are high school parents? Okay, perfect. How many of you know somebody with a high school child? Okay, great. So this still applies to you guys. All right, so the FAFSA. Does everybody know what the FAFSA is?
What's it stand for?
Oh gosh, I knew you were gonna ask me this. It's federal free application for federal student aid. I have been a high school counselor, it's been 15 years and I still mess that, and I used it myself personally and I still mess that thing up. Okay, so what is in here, and I'm gonna go through this as quickly as possible, but what, they have access to this PowerPoint? Do they have access? Okay, perfect. So you will find I've got all the links, the tools, the steps you could potentially need or you could pass along to somebody. But the FAFSA changed last year. How many of you are aware of the FAFSA changing? Woo, it was a year, can I just tell you? It was a year, so I am sorry if you needed it for last year, because whoo. This year, they have been doing, they fixed a bunch of stuff. They did beta testing in October, which is actually why they opened it earlier than they were supposed to. It wasn't actually supposed to open until yesterday, but they opened it like 2 weeks earlier. But it is still the new fun FAFSA. So basically, biggest things and what you're going to see in here is what is the FAFSA, the different types of aid, because not everybody realizes that FAFSA isn't just about loans. It's actually how you get scholarships and grants. It's for everybody. So we are still trying to overcome barriers of, well, I make too much money. Or there's also, you know, I've got my military benefits. Or I'm going to be a student athlete. Okay, still need to complete the FAFSA. And then, well, I don't want the government to have my information. Information that you are providing is what the government has actually provided you. Unless, you know, we know for some small businesses there's maybe some money flowing that way, but still, for the most part, they already know what's going on. So, and then they've even made, there are some extra resources for students of parents who might not have a social security card, our homeless kids, our foster kids, so they are undocumented students, so they've tried to also take into consideration some of those special populations, and some helpful resources. So the biggest thing is, you know, the FAFSA application is linked here. Main things, you know, needed to complete it. There is a printable checklist that's also linked later on as well, but they need to do their studentaid.gov, their FSA ID first. Both parent and student need to do that. They need to have a copy or photo or a copy of their social security card or green card. They need their 2023 federal tax forms. Most people can link directly to the IRS in the platform, and then personal email address. And it is helpful for the parent and the student to be together because there's a lot of secondary verification needing to happen. So like once you complete a section, you gotta verify both parents, that kind of thing. That was one of the new features that I'm not so sure everybody loves just yet. Okay, so this is a video, but I'm not gonna take the time away from you guys, but it walks you through in a fun way of what the FAFSA is and why it's important. But like I said, you know, what most people don't realize is, you know, it is basically there to help determine the financial aid that you're eligible to receive, which includes grants, scholarships, work-study funds, and loans. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is a lot on this page, but the biggest thing from grants and scholarships. So there are federal grants. That includes the Pell Grant. How many of you have heard about the Pell Grant? Okay, and with this new FAFSA, more Pell Grant money is now being able to be awarded. In the past, it used to run out really fast. This has apparently allowed, what it is behind it, I couldn't tell you, but there is more Pell Grant money now available. And then there's also the Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant. So the Pell Grant is for undergraduate students with financial need, who've not earned a bachelor's, graduate, or professional degree. And it's very, very slim that a Pell Grant would ever have to get paid back. And then the Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant are awarded to undergraduate students who show exceptional financial need. So, and they're administered by the financial aid offices of each participating college. So they would see that on their awards letter when it comes back. Then there are some state grants. So North Carolina has their own state grant or government-funded grants. When they see that, they're good for helping fill gaps, that kind of thing. We're going to talk a little bit about it, but there's the Next North Carolina Scholarship, which is a grant and a scholarship kind of in its own, and then the North Carolina Needs-Based Scholarship for private college students. And then at the bottom is a link to the CFNC, College Foundation of North Carolina's. They have a whole scholarship search website. So there's your grants and scholarships. Then you've got your federal loans, right? So you've got your direct subsidized loan, unless you have to, but it's still probably better than a private loan. So that is in there as well. So when it comes to the FAFSA, I've put in the steps. The biggest thing is, you got to create your account. Then you've got to create your FSA ID, Federal Student Aid ID. The student and the parent would have to do that. Then determine your contributors, so who has to do this with you, right? And then the final part is answering the fun questions and signing, contributing. So this walks you through kind of who needs a student aid, gov, and I know this is small up here, but it kind of walks you through, okay, so a student is always going to need this account, students always have to have this, and then they ask you things like, is the student under 24 years? Yes, okay, then that makes them dependent on at least one parent, okay? If the answer is no, then it's, does the student have a spouse? Yes, no, right? And then it comes over here to, with at least one parent needs an account. Then does the parent need a student government account? Does the student have only one parent? Yes, it takes you that way. No, takes you through that. So it kind of walks you through, do both of my parents need an account? What if I don't have a parent? All that kind of thing. The next one is if the student does need a parent or parents to contribute, it kind of takes you that second part, okay, then what? So that second screen, which to me is very helpful because I think this is the most confusing part, honestly. We can all answer questions about ourselves, but it's knowing who, what, when, where, right? This talks about the dependency status, so this is a lot, but basically students are going to have to answer, are you a dependent? And what classifies no versus what would classify them as yes. That also can determine if you're eligible for Pell Grant money, so that's why that question is really, really important. Needing to know, so these are the things we discovered last year that some of those glitches and hiccups started to create, right? So it takes about 1 to 3 days to process the account registration. So when they first make their account, it can take up to 3 days for that account to become active eligible. So basically put your patience pants on, as I would need to tell myself, wait, don't panic if you don't see anything right away or you can't get it. It doesn't work. Basically they should take that step now. Don't wait, kind of thing. And then who plan to contribute to their student status, everybody's going to need to set their accounts up. They're claiming that there are still some issues. What those issues are, I don't know. But on that link, they have a list of the glitches or things that they're still experiencing. I don't think they're major, but they are explaining that there are some issues that are still remaining as we're moving into this new FAFSA. And then if there is a need to reach out for federal student aid support or help, that is the support center, the phone number. These are some additional links and things that I thought would be helpful. This financial aid map is all of North Carolina, and there's pinpoints where you can actually find a center. Like a lot of the state employees credit unions will help you with financial aid support. There are certain college, universities, two-year colleges that will help provide it. So that provides that. This is an additional link that helps you with personal FAFSA assistance. This is that checklist. This is an entire guide. It's actually for school counselors, but honestly, I think it would be really helpful for anybody. It is like a 40-page document that literally walks you through, like, what is this? What is the information they're asking you for? That kind of thing. So we're going to just all pretend you guys are school counselors today. And then the scholarships piece, like I said, that's a webinar that CFNC did back in October that might be helpful. The Next NC Scholarship, that's the link to that website. And then I have a Instagram that I created a couple years ago for students because I realized they don't pay attention to us when we put things out in announcements and emails and bulletin boards. And I work with a group with our superintendent, and they said, well, we pay attention to like Instagram. So I now have an Instagram. So anything scholarship, volunteering, job opportunity, that kind of thing gets posted onto that Instagram as well. And then we recently, myself and Brittany Rains, who is our career and college pathways coordinator within CTE, she and I applied for a grant called the FAFSA Strong Grant through the John M. Belt Foundation, and we were awarded $25,000 to basically support FAFSA application initiatives. So we're going to be hosting about 5 or 6 FAFSA application nights. Those dates are coming. We're finalizing, actually I meet with her later today to finalize those dates. We're going to be partnering with Fayetteville Tech, Fayetteville State, and we're hoping Methodist, but we're trying to figure that out with them. And then we're also working with Fayetteville Tech. They're going to have their bus in different high school locations during the month of February. Food, raffle prizes, we're going to be raffling off of scholarships to the students that come, anywhere from $250 to $500. Some college or after high school baskets, things like that. So we're going to hopefully have a stipend to pay the staff that can come out there and be out there to help. So we're excited about those initiatives. So that will be coming out, and that'll be something that I'll work with Dr. Whitley and his group to start pushing out as well. But that's what we're also trying to do from a Cumberland County perspective, to try to provide the support, because we know it's not easy. But I guess my biggest ask is get that myth buster out there that the FAFSA is not a bad thing, that it really is for everybody, and you're not giving any information that's secret, or you wouldn't want the government to know, because it's ultimately coming from them. And honestly, it's going to help a kid reach their potential more so than I think what they realize. And I mean, if you earn a Pell Grant, that can send you to a 2-year college for free. So there's a lot of great things out there. So that's my spiel. I think that's it.